Something really surprising happened in Blake Lively's legal case, and it shocked a lot of people. Her own lawyer decided to quit working with her, right in the middle of everything. This was a big deal and made the whole situation look even worse for her. Now, usually when a lawyer agrees to help someone in court, they stay until the case is finished, no matter how hard it gets. But in this case, Blake's lawyer just walked away. Why? That's where things get messy. There are reports going around that this happened because of something really serious. People are saying there may have been bribery involved. Bribery means offering money or gifts to get someone to do something unfair or dishonest, especially in legal situations. If that kind of thing is even being mentioned, it means the case has taken a very dark turn. While nothing has been proven yet, just the rumor alone made a lot of people start asking questions about what's really going on behind the scenes. When a lawyer suddenly leaves a case, it usually means one of two things. Either the lawyer no longer believes in what their client is saying, or they think the case is going so badly that it's not even worth continuing. In Blake's case, some people think it could be both. Her lawyer might have looked at the facts, seen how strong the other side's evidence was, and realized that things were going downhill fast. If the lawyer truly believed she couldn't win, or if something made them feel uncomfortable about the way things were being handled, quitting would be the only option. This made people on the internet start talking even more. Some said, if her own lawyer doesn't want to support her anymore, maybe there's something she's not telling us. Others believed that the lawyer saw something shady or wrong in the way Blake and her team were dealing with the case. The whole situation became even more dramatic, especially since Blake is a huge star and people don't expect this kind of trouble from someone so famous. Even though Blake hasn't said much about why her lawyer left, the damage was already done. The news made her look even more suspicious in the eyes of the public. Many people were already starting to question her story, and now, with her legal team falling apart, they're wondering if she's been honest at all. It's kind of like watching someone on a high wire trying to keep their balance and then seeing their safety net get pulled away. It creates a feeling that something big is about to crash. So, when people heard that her lawyer had quit, it didn't just seem like a small problem. It felt like a sign that her whole case might fall apart. Whether or not the bribery rumors are true, the fact that her own lawyer left makes the whole situation look really bad for Blake. And in the world of celebrity news, moments like this can change everything. Another huge twist in Blake Lively's legal drama came when a bunch of new evidence was revealed, and it completely flipped the story. At the beginning, Blake had claimed that she was the victim. She said that Justin Baldoni, the director she was working with, had treated her unfairly, and she even filed a lawsuit full of serious accusations against him. At first, some people believed her. A few media outlets even published stories that made her look like the one who was being wronged. But then everything changed. Justin Baldoni's legal team came forward with over 170 pages of proof. This included emails, text messages, timelines, and other documents. That's a huge amount of information, and it told a very different story than what Blake had been saying. These messages showed that Blake might not have been a victim at all. In fact, they suggested that she was the one causing problems behind the scenes. This evidence showed that she had made threats, tried to take control of situations, and even lied about certain events. One example mentioned in the video was about a scene where Blake claimed Justin hurt her, but video proof showed the opposite. It actually looked like she was the one being aggressive. That made people stop and think, if she wasn't being honest about something like that, what else might she have lied about? As soon as this new evidence came out, people started changing their minds. Some who had felt bad for Blake now started to question everything she had said. The media, which had once stood by her, became quiet. News outlets that had supported her suddenly stopped publishing stories about the case, probably because they didn't want to be connected to something that now looked suspicious. It was like the spotlight shifted, and instead of seeing Blake as someone who was hurt, people began to see her as someone who had made false claims to get attention or power. Even more surprising was how detailed and organized Justin's side was. His team didn't just bring a few texts. They brought page after page of clear evidence that picked apart almost every part of Blake's story. It looked like they had been preparing for a while, and they were ready to show the truth. That made Blake's legal team look weak, especially since they didn't have much real proof to support her version of events. At this point, her story started to fall apart. Her public relations team, The people who help her manage her image in the media couldn't keep up with the truth that was coming out. They had worked hard to make Blake seem like the good guy, but with all the facts against her, it became impossible to keep that image alive. To fans watching this unfold, it felt like they had been tricked. Many had supported Blake because they thought she was standing up for herself. But after seeing all the evidence, it looked like she had been trying to control the story and hurt someone else's career without real proof. That made people angry. No one likes to feel lied to, and it made Blake's situation go from bad to worse. In the end, this evidence didn't just challenge her story, it almost destroyed it. Now, instead of people asking, why would Blake lie, they started asking, what else has she lied about? It was a major turning point in the case, and one that caused a lot of people to lose trust in her completely. In celebrity news, trust is everything, and once it's gone, it's very hard to get back. As if things couldn't get any worse for Blake Lively, the public and the media also turned against her, and fast. At the beginning of her lawsuit, when she first made the claims against Justin Baldoni, a lot of people were on her side. Some believed she was being mistreated, and a few big news outlets even wrote stories that made her look like the victim. But once the facts started coming out and more people saw the other side of the story, everything changed. The public started to feel like they had been misled. People on social media began posting their thoughts, saying things like, "Why did we ever believe her?" or "She tried to fool everyone." As more and more proof was released, like emails and messages that showed Blake might have twisted the truth, people lost trust in her. The same fans who once supported her in comments and tweets were now criticizing her. Some even started calling her manipulative, saying she was just trying to control the story to make herself look better. And it wasn't just regular people online who changed their minds. Even the media, the same reporters and magazines that had been on her side, started backing off. Some stopped covering the story completely. Others deleted articles that had once painted her in a positive light. It seemed like everyone was running away from Blake's side of the story, like they no longer wanted to be associated with her. This kind of thing doesn't usually happen unless something serious is going on. Media companies hate looking bad, and if it turns out they supported someone who was lying, they'll do everything they can to protect their own reputation. That's exactly what happened here. Editors and journalists who once wrote glowing stories about Blake suddenly became silent. They didn't want to defend someone whose story was falling apart in front of everyone. Blake's public image was starting to crumble. And when you're a celebrity, your image is everything. That's what gets you movie roles, magazine covers, and brand deals. But now, instead of being seen as a strong, honest woman, she was being seen as someone who might have tried to use her fame and power to hurt someone else, and that's not something people forget easily. To make things worse, her legal team was also losing power. Her lawyer had already quit, which made it look like her whole side of the case was falling apart. Her PR team couldn't keep up with all the bad press, and the more people looked into the case, the more it seemed like Blake wasn't telling the full truth. The whole thing became a giant mess, and Blake was stuck in the middle of it. Public opinion had turned against her, and when that happens, it's very hard to come back from it. People online don't hold back, and once they start dragging someone, it can be brutal. In the world of celebrity news, this is one of the worst things that can happen, when both the fans and the media stop believing in you. Blake went from being a beloved Hollywood star to someone people didn't trust anymore. And all it took was one big case, a lot of proof from the other side, and a few too many red flags for people to start seeing her differently. This drama with Blake Lively didn't just affect her. It started dragging in other celebrities too, including her husband Ryan Reynolds. And things got really complicated. At first, people were just focused on the lawsuit between Blake and Justin Baldoni. But as more information came out, fans and media outlets began to wonder how this whole mess might be affecting Ryan and their relationship behind the scenes. Ryan Reynolds is a huge star in Hollywood. He's known for being funny, charming, and staying out of trouble. He's also part of big business deals, like being part owner of a soccer team and starring in blockbuster movies. Most people thought of him as a smart and successful actor who also had a solid marriage with Blake. But after this lawsuit blew up, that perfect image started to crack a little. Some reports started coming out saying that Ryan might not be doing as well as everyone thought. Yes, he has a lot of money and fame, but a huge lawsuit like this, especially one where your wife is being sued for hundreds of millions of dollars, can mess up even the biggest Hollywood careers. In fact, Justin Baldoni's team is reportedly suing Blake for $400 million, and there's even another lawsuit for $250 million involving a major publication that supported her story. If any of these cases end with a guilty verdict or a big settlement, it could seriously affect both Blake and Ryan financially. People started asking, can they even afford that kind of judgment? Even though Ryan seems rich, most of his money is tied up in businesses or future projects. That means he might not have all that cash just sitting around. And with so much attention on the case, it's putting stress on his public image too. To make things worse, the couple's personal life started to be questioned. There were rumors that Blake and Ryan's marriage was struggling because of all the legal drama. Some insiders said that their relationship has been tense and that the stress is really getting to them. In one part of the video, it even mentions a skit they did with Hugh Jackman that fans found awkward. People said it looked forced and uncomfortable, like they were trying too hard to act like everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. On top of that, other famous people started getting pulled into the mess. Taylor Swift was one of them. Blake and Taylor are known to be close friends, but rumors started spreading that Blake tried to involve Taylor in the fight with Baldoni, possibly to use her star power to put pressure on the situation. If that's true, it didn't go over well. Sources said Taylor and her team wanted no part of the lawsuit and weren't happy about being connected to it. Even Hugh Jackman, who is friends with Ryan, seemed uncomfortable with how things were playing out. Fans online pointed out that he probably regretted being in that skit, especially once the details of the case started going public. Some people said it felt like Blake was using her famous friends to distract people from the truth or make her look better. But instead of helping her, it just made things worse. Then there was Anna Kendrick. She had worked with Blake in the past, but now, according to the video, their interactions are cold and awkward. It seems like a lot of people in Hollywood are keeping their distance from Blake. No one wants to be caught in the middle of this kind of scandal. It's risky to be seen supporting someone whose case is falling apart in the public eye. All of this shows how big and damaging this lawsuit has become. It's not just a legal fight anymore. It's a full-blown public meltdown that's affecting Blake's career, her marriage, her friendships, and even her money. Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, and others are all being pulled into something they probably never wanted to be a part of. And with so much attention on this case, it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.